Hey team, I thought we'd start by doing sort of weekly wrap-ups for the Capstone to give you a sense of what we worked on this week and how that connects with next week work so you can get prepared. This week was all about taking big sets of drawings, 28 pages for Pearson, 11 pages for Seton, and starting to get your head around, how to break them down into different assemblies and layers, right, for subtrades and materials, understanding the activities involved, really in capturing this project to make sure we can estimate it properly. So this week was all about getting your head around it and doing our virtual site visits on Wednesday to get a sense of what the site looked like, asking questions to really get your head in this project so you know kind of what, it's a small box, right? These are 2-story, 20 foot by 20 foot boxes, but there's a lot going on inside them to get your head around. So that's what this week is about. If you felt overwhelmed or a bit confused, that's normal at any point in a project like this because you're getting up to speed on how to build this building and really to estimate it, how to break it down into each layer. So that was this week. Next week, what we're doing is we're introducing the estimate sheet. So the 50 categories we'll be learning how to take all of our takeoffs and activities and put them into. That's the estimate sheet, so 50 categories. We'll learn how to sort of take our learnings from work breakdown structures from last semester and put those in the estimate. And really, pro tip, the estimate sheet is really just your WBS down one side, and now you're going to attach your takeoffs, which are your areas and linear foot for materials, and then do costing. So in the lecture, we'll introduce the estimate sheet. Second, we'll show you how your WBS work actually goes into the estimate. And third, we'll show you how your takeoffs connect to those WS activities. So all that comes together. We have a guest speaker to come in and talk about how they do takeoffs, work breakdowns, and use estimate sheets. So that's pretty cool. And if you have any questions about what we're learning and how it relates to how other people do it, that's the time to ask your questions. The lab class is all about continuing to push through these drawings and break down all of the different sections. So we focused on framing this week to get your head around kind of how we do this and worked a bit in groups. So we'll continue with that. This week, we're trying to get through about 80% of the takeoffs. So we'll move from framing onto exteriors and then to windows. Then go to the inside and look at finished materials. So we'll look at drywall quantities, flooring quantities, tile, millwork, paint. The list goes on. If you're worried about time, don't worry at this point. Framing takes a while because you're new to it. It feels complex because you're getting your head around the project. But once we start to know the layers of this house, it's going to get easier and you will be like a machine. So we'll continue in groups, we'll break it down, and that's it. So next week is all about lecture, introduce the estimate and how we use the takeoffs in activities and our work breakdown structure learning. The lab is all about how we continue breakdowns. So for the lab class, make sure you bring your imperial scale. If you haven't been bringing that to class, you really need this. So if you don't have one, order one for Monday if you're in class Monday. You can buy these at Staples. They should be between 10 and 20 bucks, I think. I've had this one for 13 years. They last a long time. The other thing to have is colored pens or highlighters because we can mark down our takeoffs on the drawings and then be able still to read the drawing through the highlight. So I like green, I like pink. I also have blue. I use yellow. So those are my core colors. And then I like to have some colored pens, blue and red, and then some funky ones for like notes or like questions. I have pink and orange. So the more colors you have, the better it would be. But at minimum, you want probably 4 colors at a minimum. Worst case is you'd have like 3. Okay, but 4 would be ideal. Okay, so that's next week. So bring your planes to class, bring your scale to class, bring some highlighters. We'll continue doing breakdowns, work in our group, and on Wednesday in the lecture, we will show you how the estimate sheet works, okay? It's Friday, so hand in your 15 questions to the box on Blackboard, wherever it might be for you, and I'll see you next week.